Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online Series 7 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we are trying out the team that ended up finishing first in the online qualifiers for the Players' Cup 3. It was actually created by a Japanese player. I've linked their Twitter in the description below, and Japanese players don't count towards qualifications for Players' Cup, so basically the invitation gets passed down to the first player that's in a region that is able to play in the Players' Cup, but a lot of Japanese players still really like playing in these tournaments, and so there's always some really interesting teams, and so this is the team that ended up winning the entire event. Has a bunch of really interesting components to it. The first thing that I want to talk about is the Porygon 2. As you can see, this is full offensive Porygon 2 with Max Attack, Max Special Attack, Giga Impact, Tri-Attack, Blizzard, Thunderbolt. So it's basically very different from the standard Porygon 2s that you see, and the idea is that you often are actually going to want to Dynamax it to pick up surprise one-hit KOs. Otherwise, you have some stuff that we've seen before, Life Orb Zapdos, Classic Focus Sash Urshifu, Power Up Nihilego with Substitute. That is a set that Hirofumi ran on his ranked #1 team a couple of weeks back. Full Incense Grimmsnarl here. And then the other really interesting component is going to be the C Incense Dracovish with Substitute as well. So this team has double Substitute, and I think Sub is kind of a underplayed move. Especially because it is a nice way to kind of stall out your opponent's Dynamax, especially if you're able to get the Substitute before they get a max move into your slot. So Sub is especially strong, I think, on Nihilego and Dracovish, because often players are going to want to protect in front of those Pokemon, expecting either a Vicious Rend or Meteor Beam. So you can basically capitalize off them trying to play passively with the Protect, get a free Substitute off, and then really go from there. So this team is really, really interesting. I think Porygon 2 is fascinating to me, and yeah, +1. The thing is, because you're both a physical and special, regardless of what download boost you get, you can basically capitalize off it, right? So obviously, I think I prefer the special attack boost most of the time just because you're running 3 special attacks and only 1 physical attack. But Giga Impact is really, really powerful. You can one-shot like Tapu Fini, for example, with Max Strike after you get a +1 boost. So yeah, I'm not surprised that a team like this was able to win the online qualifiers because it is a best-of-1 tournament. And so having surprises up your sleeve is really, really important, and so the Porygon alone here is obviously super strong. I think Full Instance Grimmsnarl is just a really strong set still as well, and so yeah, a lot of fun components here. So thank you to the creator, congratulations to them for winning the event. Once again, check them out on Twitter, linked in the description below. They also posted a team report for this in Japanese, so that is also linked down there below. Question of the day, I want to know if you played in the Players' Cup 3 qualifiers. How did you do? Let me know in the comment section below. I ended up playing and I finished with the rating of 16, I think 72, and so that hopefully is good enough to qualify. If I qualified, then we'll see if I end up playing or commentating, but it was definitely a lot tougher, I think, this time around rather than the last 2 qualifiers. So yeah, it was really a brutal event. I also played on stream on another cart in the same account, and that was a tough run. So yeah, it was a fun time though. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the results of the tournament. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please share support by leaving a like, and let's get started with today's episode. Alright, getting into our first game of the day. This is a really interesting team. Torkoal, Lilligant, Comfey, Dragapult, Gieleki. Huh, okay. Immediately, I think Dynamax Porygon 2 is actually a really good just option here for us in general, so I like that. I'm nervous about Comfey plus Dragapult. That could be pretty scary. But I could trick Full Incense onto it. I think Grimmsnarl Porygon is not a bad lead for us here, honestly. And then in the back, I like Nihilego and Urshifu a lot. Dracovish doesn't feel super good into this matchup because they have Sun. Zapdos could be alright, but I'm not sure it does enough damage. Part of the problem is that Dragapult has Clear Body. I think if that Dragapult were like any other threat, Dynamax threat, in which I could lower its BDF, then I think Grimmsnarl plus Zapdos works out pretty well for me because I can just Fake Tears and just try to one-shot it. But because it's Dragapult, I can't even Fake Tears it, so I think we definitely want to Dynamax Porygon 2 in this game. Because regardless of what boost we get, we'll do a lot of damage with the combination of Max Strike and Max Hailstorms. Fake Out's really valuable for us here. They only have really one big Dynamax threat in the Dragapult. And maybe their Porygon Dynamaxes as well. But it's going to be Gieleki and Comfey. Okay. You don't see that lead too often, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, I mean, I think turn 1, I'm content to just click Fake Out, Try Attack into Gieleki. Unless Gieleki Dynamaxes. It may be safer, honestly, to just Dynamax my Porygon here. When I was practicing with this, like, I just fell into the trap a couple times of not Dynamaxing Porygon because I was like, oh, I'm not going to take that much damage, but because this Porygon has no HP, defense, or special defense EVs, it can be pretty bad if you take any chip damage. And so because I think Porygon 2 is just so good into this matchup, I think I'd rather just Dynamax it to play it safe turn 1. That covered the option of Dynamax Gieleki, and while Dynamax Gieleki doesn't one-shot Porygon 2, Max Lightning just would do so much damage there. So ideally, we just knock out Gieleki turn 1. Nice, and they don't protect. Okay, that's great. Okay. I've actually never seen that interaction before. Where, wow, okay, that's hilarious. Yeah, where Fake Out goes off, you flinch, and then Ally Switch comes out. We take those. I mean, I think that's pretty good for us. Cool. So I could pick up a double KO this next turn. Obviously, they could Ally Switch. They could just go Draining Kiss onto my Grimmsnarl. So I actually kind of like the idea of switching out into Nihilego with Grimmsnarl. And Max Hailstorm into the Gieleki slot. Yeah. I mean, they could go for another Ally Switch. I think Draining Kiss here would make a little... Oh, I guess Hailstorm doesn't KO Comfey. Maybe it would have been better to just eliminate Comfey here. Like, target the Comfey slot. Oh, Gieleki did have Protect. Okay. Interesting. And they go for Draining Kiss. Okay. That's okay with me, I think. I mean, now Ego barely takes any damage there, and I get now Ego in for free, which is pretty good as well. But I just didn't know what to expect. Like, I felt like if Gieleki had Protect, they could have just gone for it on the first turn, so I honestly didn't think they have it here. But the reality is that I feel like Porygon plus now Ego do so well into my opponent's team, where I still feel pretty good about our positioning. Gieleki looks like max speed, given that it's still faster after that max strike. Actually, now Ego... I don't remember how much this investment this has specifically, but okay. I'm down to just go for another Max Strike. Yeah, Max Strike and Sludge Bomb into the Gieleki slot. Or actually, I should Sludge Bomb Comfey in case they go Floral Healing here. Yeah. Because I could see them heal themselves. But I think it should be a double KO this turn, and then we're up 4-2 with full Incense still waiting in the back. Yeah, they did end up Floral Healing. That's fine. Pretty sure we still pick up the KO onto the Gieleki here. But this was definitely a bizarre start to the game. They go for Electro Web, which is fine. Although I guess it means I probably have to switch the... Now you go out. It was Life Orb, Gieleki, Electro Web, Protect. Okay, interesting. So Comfey faints. I mean, it's going to be a double KO. And I think having Grimmsnarl with full Incense waiting in the back is still pretty valuable. Yeah. I guess I should have expected Life Orb plus Electro Web as soon as I know that I see the Protect and see that you're fast as well. But we do pick up a double KO. It was just, like, less than ideal because, like, I was hoping for Porygon to get a max move into whatever their Dynamax Pokemon is, right? So that didn't end up happening just because of the fact that Comfey hung on with just the Sliver, and then they actually had that Protect turn 2. So, like, it may have been better to... Like, it's always better to... Well, not always, because Comfeys do carry Protect occasionally. But their last two are Porygon 2 and Torkoal. Okay. Who do you even Dynamax here if you're my opponent? Honestly, I think it's Porygon 2, but... Huh. Like, that was the weird thing, right? Because I feel like Dragapult's really their best max option. That's also why I wanted to Dynamax turn 1 to cover for Gieleki maxing. But now I have a +1 Meteor Beam that I can launch. +1 special attack. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to just try attack the Porygon on their end and Meteor Beam it. I think Torkoal here is in such a awkward spot. Maybe you max Torkoal? That would make sense. They just Protect. I mean, they just never Dynamaxed in this game, but they didn't really bring anything to Dynamax either, which I think was what made this really hard. So let's see, we have a +2 Meteor Beam plus Tri Attack. If we hit this, I think that should just be a KO, but let's find out. But yeah, Dynamax Porygon 2 is just so good against their entire team. Okay, Meteor Beam hits, fortunately. That's like one of the most stressful things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a KO. And that's why I doubled up onto Porygon, because Porygons very rarely carry Protect, so like, it's just... I think like my opponent had to Dynamax the Porygon in this game. Or a Lecky. Like, yeah. I feel like their team is limited. Like, they don't have that many great Dynamax options, and that's why I was saying, like, it's only Dragapult unless maybe your Porygon 2 set is, like, an offensive set, like what this team has, but it doesn't even look like that was the case. So, Porygon now Ego matched up really well into their team. And so I don't blame them for not bringing Dragapult, because, like, Dragapult... But if it's Weakness Policy Dragapult, I don't know. I feel like it's still probably your best bet. Just go Grimmsnarl... Or, sorry, Comfey Dragapult. Try to activate the Weakness Policy and go from there. That being said, I obviously had a plan against it, which was just get the full instance onto it from the Grimmsnarl. Once we get the full instance onto it... Oh, we can check the team. Yeah, I'm curious here. Is Charcoal Torkoal with Body Press, Sash Lilligant, that's pretty standard. Life Orb Lecky with Hyper Beam, and Rising Voltage. Eviolite Porygon, so not really. Well, they were actually max special attack. Yeah, I actually think they should have Dynamax Porygon 2 in that endgame. I think they were clearly going for Trick Room, but hard to really get that off. Sucker Punch Dragapult, that's interesting. And Babiri on the Comfey. Yeah. So, like, your only realistic max option is going to be Dragapult most of the time, with Lecky and Porygon potentially in weird positions, and that was actually probably a game where the position was weird enough where my opponent maybe should have considered Dynamaxing either of those. Dynamax Porygon 2 on our end was really good there. Unfortunately, it didn't pick up like the one-hit KOs I was looking for, and they were able to heal back, but it was still a really good option there. They didn't have good answers to it, and that was the main thing. Okay, I think this is Yuki's team. Yuki is a really good player, and he got top 4 in like a paid grassroots tournament recently. I don't remember the exact sets on the team, but it's definitely scary. Porygon 2 on the opposing end is scary. I think now Ego is really good here. I believe it's Amoonguss, so I'm going to have to watch out for that. Ultimately, it's Glastrier I have to be careful about, right? Glastrier under Trick Room is the scary thing here. I believe it's Assault Vested as well. Now Ego plus Grimmsnarl is actually kind of an interesting lead to me here, because I could substitute with it. Then Urshifu Porygon in the back. I want to bring Zapdos really badly in this game. But the problem with Zapdos is like Glastrier just one-shots it. The only, like, Zapdos works if Trick Room isn't up, but I don't think I can deny Trick Room that easily. But Grimmsnarl is valuable for us here because I can trick Full Instance away and get, like, AV away from Glastrier, and if I give it a Full Instance, I could even, I think, like, now Ego is actually really good as a Dynamax option in this game. Because there's no Rock Resist or Immune on the opposing side. So if they lead passively, for example, Amoonguss Porygon, I could fake out Substitute turn 1. If I get the sub up, that's obviously really good, because then we can get the ball rolling. Is Amoonguss... I can see Amoonguss Porygon, Instant Porygon, Togekiss. Rotom, I guess, is kind of scary, but I would be okay playing into that. Yeah, it's Porygon Amoonguss. Okay. Porygon Amoonguss. I'm definitely substituting here. Substitute. Amoonguss probably just clicks Spore, but who would you Spore, actually? I guess I could also just straight up deny Trick Room with the Fake Out, force them to follow me. Okay, I'm down for sub Fake Out. I could see them sporing into now Ego in this position, or just protecting Amoonguss too. I could have gone Trick on a Porygon. But yeah, I don't think I one-shot Amoonguss with +1 Meteor Beam, so I think sub is really safe here. And I think it's actually really good in this matchup. The only problem is like, if I get Spored onto Grimmsnarl. Nice, okay, so we denied Trick Room this turn, that's good. If Spore goes into now Ego, we're actually in a really good spot. Let's see. Nice. Wow, okay. That was really good. That was really good. So I'm happy about that. I don't want to trick here yet, honestly. I also, yeah, I think, like I said, I think the Amoonguss is Focus Sashed. So I think you can easily spore into Grimmsnarl right now. I guess the question is whether or not +1 Meteor Beam KOs Porygon 2 without Eviolite, but I don't think the answer to that question is yes. I have Urshifu and Porygon in the back. I can't really deny Trick Room this time around. I'm down to Meteor Beam, just Meteor Beam Amoonguss and Spirit Break. If I get hit by a Spore, it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. And they go for Rage Powder. Okay, nice. So that's pretty good. The main thing here is I need to conserve my full Incense specifically to deal with the sorry, not the Grimmsnarl, the Glastrier. Because that's the main threat for my opponent's end. If I give full Incense onto it and I trick away an Assault Vest, that's so good for us. Now, granted, Grimmsnarl doesn't want Assault Vest, but the main thing is to just get away. Take its item away. I don't think the Meteor Beam plus Spirit Break double KOs here, but that's okay, because it denies my opponent a free switch in, which is actually really important. More importantly, I get a special attack boost from it. Yeah, Amoonguss hangs on with just a sliver, but that's okay. Then get Trick Room up. You probably Spore now into the Grimmsnarl slot, right? I actually think we have to switch Grimmsnarl out here into Porygon. I guess I can also intentionally not KO Amoonguss here to deny them a free switch in. Wait, I actually kind of like that as an option. Yeah. I like that as an option a lot, actually. Because if you switch out Amoonguss, then I can just trick you next turn. If you stay in, you Spore me. That's fine. You don't get a free switch in into your Glastrier. This is where I think Sub Nihilego is really interesting. I could also Dynamax Nihilego, but you have to remember that once you Dynamax it, I lose my Substitute. Oh, but they switch Porygon out. Is that Glastrier? Nah, that was a really good play. That was a good play. Oh, but they protect Amoonguss. Okay. So I get a free Sludge Bomb off here, which is actually really nice. I wish I doubled up onto the Porygon 2 slot now. Can we get a Poison? That would be huge. No Poison. Okay. But the thing is, now Amoonguss really has to Rage Powder, right? There's only 2 turns of Trick Room left as well, which bodes well for us. So, I'm going to Spirit Break into Amoonguss and switch my Grimmsnarl out into Porygon on my end. I don't know. I mean, it's basically a question of how cautiously my opponent plays around the full Incense right now. I don't know the offensive attack on Amoonguss. I think it's Sludge Bomb? I don't remember. Oh, they're just going to double up onto Nihilego there. That's a problem. That's actually a really big problem, because now I just get Spored on everything, I think. Ah, wow. I should have gone for full Incense there that turn then. I thought they'd respect that option a little bit more. That's bad. That's really bad, I think. Because now everything just gets hit by Spore. You can high horsepower that slot. I guess I can go on into Grimmsnarl here at least. Obviously don't want to Dynamax here. That was a great play on their end. Yeah, I thought I'm guessing the Glastrier's EV to let you always outspeed Amoonguss under Trick Room. Which makes sense. I should have considered that a little bit more. I could have protected Nihilego in that position. I just thought I was going to get... Actually, yeah, I think protecting there was better, right? Because I didn't protect the previous turn. I just Sludge Bombed the previous turn. So I got a little bit greedy just attacking there. I think protecting definitely was the right move. But this is still definitely doable. It's just going to be a little bit tougher now, I think. Amoonguss not fainting has been a problem for us. If I just stayed in and tricked the full Incense onto the Glastrier and protect... Like, I could have just tricked last turn, but they read into me not going for it because obviously I had to respect the Rage Powder. So, basically, they played aggressively because they thought I had to respect, like, the most obvious option, which I think was a good decision on their end. And they Steel Spike. Wow, okay. That's probably a game-winning play, to be honest. Really well played. I guess that's actually a really safe play, right? Because it covers every option. Yeah, I needed to just KO the Amoonguss. I guess I should have just stayed in. I should have protected. That was the main play I messed up on in this game. But I think Glastrier just snowballs this too quickly now. I didn't have a great switch in there, though. Yeah, Amoonguss was just too good here. It's a shame we didn't pick up the KO onto it, but I wasn't expecting to, so. Well played. Really well played. I could have just Dynamax Porygon from the start. The main misplay I made was not protecting Nihilego in this one. Yeah. Because if I just protect it and get a free switch and I have a free double up onto the Amoonguss slot. Guess I can go into Urshifu. This isn't over, though, so I don't want to give up yet. Because if we get a one-turn wake with Porygon, I actually think we're instantly back in it. So, because it's the last turn of Trick Room as well. So, like, I'm thinking of protecting here. We Dynamax. And we go for a Max Strike onto Amoonguss. Man, yeah, just not going for that. That play of high horsepower and Spore was really, really good on their end. So that was really well done. If I just tricked Full Instance that turn and protected, then we're in really good shape, I think. Because you don't even break my sub. And then the Glastrier just goes last consistently. The problem is that I really wanted to Dynamax Nihilego in this match, and I don't think I'm able to do that now. Yeah, Amoonguss finally switches out as well into Porygon. That's okay. I mean, I think, like I said, I'm basically hoping for a one-turn wake on my Porygon right now. If we get that, we're actually instantly back in it, but the odds are obviously slim. That being said, you obviously play to your outs, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think Zapdos would have done much. Like I said, I could have gone Fake Tears Meteor Beam, but I'm pretty sure the Amoonguss is Focus Sashed on the opposing side. So that doesn't really do much. Protect is really obvious here, but I think it's still better to go for it. Because if it gets hit by a Hailstorm, it's just so bad. Knuckle into Porygon. Well played, well played. Okay, well, the upside is that Trick Room ends now, right? I mean, if we wake up, we're actually really back in this. And we wake up. Okay, okay. There's still a chance then. There's still a chance. The thing is, they can just Hailstorm with Glastrier now, right? You should Hailstorm, I would think. So I want to sacrifice Nihilego, ideally. I mean, maybe they target Porygon here instead, but Urshifu is just so good into them that I feel like you kind of have to respect it. My only question is whether or not Hailstorm KOs, because I'd like to Hail up to use Blizzard in this endgame. But I'm not confident on it picking up the knockout here. I could also just stay in and close combat, like Max Strike the Glastrier, but they have a defense boost, which makes me think we don't pick up the KO. So I want to switch out into Nihilego, hoping they Hailstorm into that slot and knock out the opposing Porygon, because I don't want Trick Room to go up again. Perhaps it would have been better to actually target Glastrier in that position, because if I had Strike into it, I could go close combat, Strike into it again. Try to pick up a knockout on there. Okay, so this should KO. Yeah, I just never got the full Incense onto... And I never got the Assault Vest away from the Glastrier, which was the problem. Yeah, there's Hailstorm. Let's see who it targets. Okay, good. That's exactly what I needed. In fact, actually, they just set up the Hail for us, too, which is kind of neat. But the problem, still, is that they have Amoonguss, right? So I guess you could just bring Amoonguss out. I probably still lose this, because Glastrier is just so good. And I don't have Protect on the Porygon. So you can bring out Amoonguss and go Rage Powder, close combat into Porygon. That's really safe. My answer against that would be to hope for a Tri-Attack, like Paralysis or maybe a Burn. You should just bring Amoonguss out right now, though. Yep. Amoonguss, like, it was just the main problem for us in this match, hanging out with just a sliver of HP the entire time. I mean, they could really get greedy and not go for Rage Powder, but I think they should just Rage Powder. I mean... Oh, we do have another turn of Dynamax. Wait, I forgot about that. Does that do anything for us? Yeah, this thing's at like +4, +3 attacks, so probably not. If I'm my opponent, I'm going for Rage Powder and close combat into Porygon. I can hope for their last one to be Incineroar. I guess that's my best bet right now. Yeah, I think you definitely Rage Powder Close Combat in this position. So I'm going to Wicked Blow Amoonguss. And just go for the strike here onto the Glastrier. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could have protected... I'm just wondering, like, maybe my Incineroar, or sorry, my Glastrier can win a 2v1 matchup here. I forgot we had one turn of Dynamax left, but that actually kind of works against us in this scenario, just because Tri-Attack would be better than Max Strike, because I don't think... Max Strike's not going to KO with the Solvest, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It'll hang on with probably, like, 20-25%. Oh, less. Oh, that was close. Just need a little bit more chip there. Yep, and there's Close Combat into Porygon. So that played out exactly how I expected it to, but I don't have Max Guard. If I had Max Guard on Porygon, it definitely would have been Wicked Blow Max Guard there. But I don't. Wicked Blow Max Guard there is actually probably a game-winning play if we had Max Guard. So, unfortunately, we do not. But if my opponent's last one's Incineroar, I think this is still maybe doable. We can Protect, Wicked Blow, and then Close Combat. So, let's see. Togekiss is definitely game over, though. It's going to be Rotom. Pretty sure Wicked Blow doesn't one-shot Rotom. I have to KO Glastrier here. And they just Hydro Pump, I think. Or Nasty Plot into T-Bolt. Or just T-Bolt. We could hope for a Close Combat crit. That might be our best bet. I'm pretty sure the Rotom's defensive enough to take a Wicked Blow. This was a great game, though, honestly. Like, my opponent played really well. And, like, I think it was definitely a somewhat tricky matchup for us. They're just going to T-Bolt. Is that one shot from our range? Does not. Okay. I wonder if after 2 takes of Hail, crit Wicked Blow is enough to KO. I really don't think so, but... They could also... Well, there's no reason to Nasty Plot. I mean, I'm definitely protecting here, because I'm going to feint into another Thunderbolt anyway. Yeah, they just T-Bolt again. It's either just go for a Wicked Blow or hope for a crit Close Combat. I don't think Wicked Blow does enough, but I'm unsure. I mean, Rotom's not exactly that defensive. I'm going to guess this brings Rotom down to like 25% and it activates its Citrus Berry. But let's see. Maybe Close Combat would have been the play. I'll do the calc after this and see if that was the right decision. Oh, that was so close. Okay. I didn't think it would KO though, so yeah, GG. Let's see. Urshifu into Rotom. Wicked Blow. Close Combat. I guess it's always better to go for close... Well, Wicked Blow just very slightly more, like 1% more. So I guess it's better to go for Close Combat there, because I can crit the Close Combat. That's probably it. I just didn't know if Wicked Blow had an opportunity to potentially knock out there. But I think Close Combat would have been the play there. That was a great game, though, honestly. So, yeah, I don't feel that bad about that one. Like, they made a really good play going for the high horsepower Spore onto Nihilego. That's what really shut me down, because... They played towards Glastrier in that game, right? And I basically need to play towards shutting down Glastrier. Like, that's how the matchup operates for both of us. Okay. Let's see. Spectrier, Clef. P2 feels good here. Like, P2, Grimmsnarl, Urshifu, Nihilego. Zapdos is kind of interesting as well, though. Zapdos could work. Zapdos definitely could work. But the thing is, I want P2, Grimmsnarl, Urshifu. And then probably Nihilego. Nihilego is weird where it's like it's really good, but also it's like kind of scary to bring here. I don't know. I like Grimmsnarl Porygon though, I think. That's definitely the lead I want to play towards here. I could play towards Zapdos in this game as well, but Porygon honestly feels a little bit more consistent. I think Urshifu's probably a must bring. I just don't know whether it's Nihilego or Zapdos. Nihilego's really good for Meteor Beam, but has to worry about, like, Glide from the Rillaboom. Zapdos does have Heat Wave here. But Meteor Beam is so powerful into my opponent's team, so I think I'm going to bring the Nihilego and see how it plays out. Alright, let's see. Yeah, that last game was really fun, honestly. Like, you could just see how bulk is so good in the game, though, right? Like, Amoonguss, Porygon, and Rotom all hung on with, like, 10%. And that 10% was what really, like, enabled them, right? Because, like, 1 HP is infinitely more than 0 HP. Okay, it's a Lecky plus Incin. So I'm down to just Dynamax Porygon turn 1 and Max Strike, I think. Max Strike and... Oh, but a Lecky could, I guess, just Volt Switch into a Spectrier? I guess that's a problem. Would you switch into a Spectrier here? I could definitely see that happening, to be honest. I don't know. Would you really bring Spectre out against these two, though? Seems kind of risky, actually. Okay, I'm down to Fake Out, and... Is it better to go for your Special or Physical Max Strike here? I guess Special, because there is an Urshifu in the back. So, Fake Out, Max, and Special Max Strike. Just because we were intimidated. Otherwise, it's definitely Physical Max Strike. I mean, if it's a Volt Switch and a Spectre, that's a really bad turn 1 for us. I guess I could have Hailstorm, but I'd rather one-shot a Lecky here if I can. Plus, one of the things about playing with a team like this is, like, the element of surprise. If you've seen this team, you know exactly what's coming your way, and that drastically changes how you play. Oh, nice! They Fake Out Porygon. Okay, sick. That's also one of the great things about being able to Dynamax Porygon. So that's a clean KO into a Lecky turn 1. That's a great start to the game. Okay, great. Great, great, great. Because the thing is now, I can just trick Full Incense into whatever's coming in, which is really good for us as well. And by the way, I think Yuki posted a team report for that last team. So I'll link his Twitter and his Twitch in the description below. He just started streaming yesterday and he's a good friend of mine. And the team that we just went up against was his team. It's a really, really good team. So check out all that stuff linked down below. Okay, so there's Spectre in the back. But honestly, this is totally fine. Because now I can just Trick onto that. As soon as I get Trick onto it, that thing is disabled. Because I have Urshifu in the back. So Trick, and I think we just Max Strike into the Incineroar here. Yeah. And I'm going to go for Physical Max Strike because I could see Clefairy. Well, actually, I don't know if Special or Defensive. I mean, it's higher base power for now, so I'll go for Physical Max Strike. I could see Protect Spectrier, Parting Shot go out into Clefairy. Oh, the bait and switch. But that's Clef coming in, so you lose your Eviolite. Oh, that's actually really smart. I think because Instant... Well, actually, I don't know if Instant's slower than us right now. But that was really cool. I like that play a lot from my opponent's end. Okay, nice. We're faster, so that's good. Because I was going to say, if you Parting Shot, and then I just waste my Max Strike completely. But because of that, I still get Max Strike off, which is pretty good. Now I have Fake Tears as well, which is valuable. And we still have one turn of Dynamax. Oh, they taunt instead of Parting Shotting. Okay. I like that. I mean, that makes sense. We're in a pretty good spot right now. They also, if you're my opponent, you don't want to go out into your Spectre right now, because if you do, it will eat up a speed drop, and that's not good for you. I could switch out right now, so go into Nihilego. I actually really like going into Nihilego. Actually, yeah, go out into Nihilego and Max Striking here feels pretty good to me. I guess one of these two could switch. I'm going to target the Clef here, but let's see if they switch Clef out. Okay, Grimmsnarl goes out. We have Urshifu. Sash Urshifu in the back is really good for us. Okay, and they don't switch out. Yeah, that's really good. Nice. This should do a ton. Yeah, look at that damage. Oh, you get Parting Shot here, actually. This would be the time to Parting Shot, yeah. But they don't Parting Shot. That's great for us. I'm actually really surprised they didn't Parting Shot there. Because I think you should Parting Shot so that you get your Spectrier in for free. Or sorry, yeah, Spectrier in for free. Because now I can just Sludge Bomb. I can actually Sub. Actually, Sub is the play this next turn. Moonblast. Yeah, they doubled up onto... That makes sense. This is the perfect opportunity for Substitute. Like, all the techs are coming into play now, which is great. So, let's go Sub. And, wait, actually, I could just Meteor Beam Giga Impact here, too. But Sub feels nice. I like subbing here, I think. Sub, and I kind of want to just go for the knockout. I don't know if Tri-Attack KOs Clef. Because if I get a knockout, then Urshifu should clean up this game, right? I don't know. This just feels like a free opportunity to substitute to me. Maybe substitute Tri-Attack. Yeah, actually, Clef isn't threatening me at all, right? So that's not a problem. They finally switch out Clef. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Unless you break my sub with the Incineroar here. Perhaps Meteor Beam into Clef is better because it just punishes the switch out and probably insta wins the game. Yeah, maybe that is better. Okay, pretty good damage. Oh, we freeze. Did they Flare Blitz? They don't thaw out. That's a huge... I mean, Tri-Attack... That's also one of the reasons why Porygon's so good. Tri-Attack is just kind of an insane attack, right? Like... Okay, well, with that, I think I'm just going to Meteor Beam into the Spectrier and go for Giga Impact onto Incineroar. Definitely a lucky freeze. I don't know what they were going for there. I think I would have liked to Meteor Beam Clefairy instead. No, Meteor Beam into Incineroar is always the best play. Yeah, actually, I think if I were to replay that turn, I would just Meteor Beam the Incineroar slot and Giga Impact it. Because Clefairy can't do anything in that position. Incineroar very rarely carries Protect. So if you follow me, Meteor Beam just KOs your Clef, and then Giga Impact probably KOs the Incineroar, right? That's a double KO. That's an insta-win. If you switch, that's fine too. Okay, they go for Max Strike onto Porygon. I don't even think this KOs. Yeah, so I think we should be good. It was a fortunate freeze. I don't know what they were going for there, whether it was a Parting Shot or something else. Maybe just a Flare Blitz. But I think we had an early lead in this game, and that definitely helped, right? Now, they still have Clefairy in the back, but it's Eviolite list Clefairy, and we have Sash Urshifu, which is perhaps the most important part of the equation, because it can just take an attack from the Spectrier and then Sucker Punch once Dynamax is over. So I went for Meteor Beam here to put this in Sucker Punch KO range. That's actually, I'm going to just KOs outright, jeez. Yeah, that's why Meteor Beam into Clefairy last turn definitely would have been the better play. Porygon 2 gets the Giga Impact off. Nice. I just wanted to guarantee the knockout onto that. Cool. I think Spectrier is just going to Faint from Life Orb at this point. So we did definitely get a little bit lucky with the freeze there. Don't know what my opponent was going for, but if it was like Flare Blitz into the Now Ego, definitely would have been a tougher match. But Now Ego, you know, getting the sub up and conserving the sub this entire time made this basically a win. So, oh, I actually should have Sludge Bomb Spectrier there, not Clef, because Clef's going to Protect here. I don't think it makes a difference with Urshifu in the back, though, especially because Clefairy doesn't have Eviolite at this point, but... it's always better to target what's next to Clefairy if Clefairy isn't going to threaten you with damage. They end up forfeiting, though, so, yeah. So, interesting set of games today. I definitely think I could have played a little bit cleaner. This team definitely takes some time to get used to, I think, because playing with offensive Dynamax Porygon 2 is very different. And we've Dynamax Porygon 2 a couple times, I think, on Road to Rank, but, like, it's not, like, super common, but with this team, it's actually, like, one of the primary carries, and you are going to Dynamax it more often than not, right? In fact, if you're bringing Porygon, you're probably going to Dynamax it. Unless, like, you're also bringing Zapdos and Porygon just works as a non-max option. But it's really strong as a Dynamax option, and, like, you can snowball games pretty quickly as well. And the beautiful thing is, because of how offensive it is, turn 1 of this game is a great example of how you get so much momentum. If your opponent thinks you're just going to set up Trick Room, they click Fake Out onto it, and you pick up a knockout. That really just gets the ball rolling, especially because there is a lot of firepower with, like, regular Urshifu, and now you go in the back as well. So, yeah. I think this match, if I could replay it, I think we pretty much had it locked up if I just went for Meteor Beam and the Giga Impact the turn that Incin and Clef were out on the field. So, I would have preferred to go for that because that probably just immediately wins us the game. My opponent cannot switch. Well, I guess actually, did they protect Clef the previous turn? Because if they did, what they could have done was switch Incin out into Spectrier and protect Clefairy. Yeah, they did. They didn't protect Clef, so that wasn't an insta win, I guess. Like they could have switched the Incineroar out into the Strike. So, like that's the one thing, and then so that's why I like subbing there a little bit more. So I guess it's not like the play I made was necessarily completely incorrect, but there was a potentially game-winning play in front of us there. So yeah, either way, really fun set of games. So I hope you guys enjoyed this team. I think it's really fascinating, and I'm not surprised to see it get to number 1 on the ladder or number 1 in the Players' Cup through qualifiers. That being said, I think, you know, as people discover this team more, it's going to be a lot easier to beat this team because part of it is kind of some of the surprise strategies, right? The Dynamax offensive Porygon too, both physical and special. The physical component's a really big component to it. The full instance Grimmsnarl, although that's, you know, pretty standard, still knowing if it's full instance or light screen changes how you play against Grimmsnarl immediately. And then, of course, the substitutes on like Dracovish and now Ego. So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to playing a couple more games with this tomorrow. So thanks as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out the original creator. If you're interested in learning more about that second team that we lost against, check out details in the description below as well for Yuki, the original creator. And yeah, thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.